Do you sometimes get very angry with your child and sometimes even hit them or shout at them? All of us get angry. It was one of the side effects of having relationships with people and caring about people. Even our children, our spouse, our friends, all of us get angry. Anger is a natural emotion. You don't have to shun away from it. You don't have to run away when you feel angry. You don't have to guilt yourself or make yourself feel bad when you feel angry. So I was reading this book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, who was a psychiatrist but also somebody who had endured life in the concentration camp by the Nazis. So this book talks about his journey as a psychiatrist in the camp, doing very difficult work, having no food to eat, and having no strength to go through the next day, wondering when will I die or when am I going to get sent into the gas chamber. The main crux of this book talks about how, as human beings, we have a choice in any given situation. No matter what is happening to us, what kind of sadness or the most difficult life experiences that are happening to us, as a person with a mind, with a soul, uh, and with our own intellect, we have a choice. So we can decide how we want to feel in this situation. We have the power, even though it feels like we are helpless, we still have the power to react or to approach this new difficult situation. This topic also is more meaningful to me because I see children and I see adults who have been through difficult teaching techniques or very traumatizing teaching techniques which hurt the child or which physically hurt the child or emotionally hurt the child into learning a skill. And if you have been watching my channel or if you know me, you know that I don't believe in making a child do anything or forcing a child to do anything. Because learning happens naturally and learning happens best when it is intrinsically motivated. So if in the past you have hit your child or you have shouted at your child, first of all stop feeling guilty because you did that because you did not know what better thing to do. So now that you're going to learn what you can do better, you have to forgive yourself and stop feeling guilty about it and think about what you can do next to help your child. Okay, so the number one thing for you to do is to understand why you're feeling angry. Okay, so you and your child might have been playing some game and your child just pushes everything away. Or you have been arranging something at home, arranging clothes, and your child just pushed it all and made a mess. Or your child is not listening to you no matter how much you call him or her, and he is just very concentrated on his play. So when you feel angry, anger is oftentimes the mask for other emotions that we are feeling, which is disappointment or which is feelings of hurt or not feeling heard, not feeling understood by the other person. So these are all the subliminal or the underlying reasons for the outward reaction of anger. When you feel angry, think about what is causing you to feel like that. When you feel that impulse to raise your hand or when you feel that impulse to just scream or shout, take a second and think, why are you feeling this way? Initially, it's very difficult to think, to stop and think because you feel like anger is very reactive. It just happens very spontaneously. But actually, it's not because it's a learned behavior. Hitting somebody or shouting often is a learned behavior in ourselves as parents. So when you feel that emotion coming up, you have the power, you have the ability to stop and think. Just try it for 1 or 2 times and you can see that you can actually stop and think and that you don't have to immediately react. So anger is usually a rush of emotions and rush of feelings of doing something. And when you feel this, so you will first think about what is causing you this. I know you feel angry at the moment, But why exactly are you angry? Once you understand that, then you will think about the power that you have within yourself to choose how you react to the situation. You don't have to be reflexive and hit and shout. Instead, you have the power in you to control your reaction. So now you have identified that you have the power within yourself to control your emotions and to control and choose how you react. The third most important thing that you're going to use, the technique that you're going to use, is a CC method, which I coined up, but it is actually psychologically and cognitively does have some basis. So what you do here is you immediately close your eyes. So when you feel this rush of emotions coming, close your eyes immediately and just think of the blankness in front of you. You will have a blank space in front of you. Just look at that space and count up to 10. Then open your eyes and assess the situation in front of you. Now that you know the technique, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to count to 10, and then you open your eyes and you see what is happening. Okay, there's milk spilled, or the toys are in a mess, or the clothes are in a mess, or your child is not attending to you and is still engaged in something else farther away. So at this moment, assess it, and your rational mind will come up with a solution that is obviously going to be better than this. So just choose that solution and go with it. And the most important thing with this technique is that you have to repeat it. Like, you are going to be faced with challenging situations where your emotions are tested every day. So every time you are faced with these emotions, you're going to train your brain to not be reactive, but instead be conscious and mindful of how you feel and how you express. So the key takeaway is that you have to use this method repeatedly. So anytime you are in this situation, you are in a very difficult, very stressful situation, close your eyes immediately. So anytime you feel like something is overwhelming, irritating you, annoying you, just close your eyes and look at the blankness in front of you, and then start to count, and then slowly open your eyes and then reassess the situation, reevaluate what is happening and how you can respond to it. Why this method works is because we have something called the habit loop in neuropsychology. What they say is, whenever there is a stimulus and we have a response to the stimulus, when this stimulus response is repeated over a long period, then this becomes a habit for us. So when you are faced with a difficult situation and your predetermined response is to get angry or is to shout, then this habit for you is formed. Now what we are trying to do with you is we're going to try to change that habit. We're going to make it more productive or make it less difficult for you and the other person involved. So we're going to change the habit. That is why this method works. So you already have a loop that goes on in your brain each time you're encountered with a difficult situation. Now, by doing this, so you have a stimulus and your predetermined response is to get angry. Now this loop will come in between the stimulus and the response and change it. So it will not allow it to keep happening again and again. And when you keep disrupting the circuit as often as possible, then this will be your new response. So you will not feel as reactive or as angry as you did before. Try the CC method with your child every time you get angry. You can even try it with anyone else who makes you angry or frustrated. And let me know in the comments on how it helped you or what struggles you faced when using this technique and if it had helped you. And I'll see you with another technique, another parenting tip technique from a speech therapist in the next video. Bye.